Hi friends, welcome into NFL Rumors. I'm Thomas Mott. We got a bunch of rumors and news in the NFL to uncover today. Let's jump right into it, starting with our first headline. Who is going to be the new Chiefs defensive coordinator? We got multiple reports here kind of floating around about will it be Rex Ryan or possibly even Steve Spagnuolo to be the new defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now remember, the Chiefs fired their former defensive coordinator Bob Sutton on Tuesday, shortly after the Chiefs blew that overtime loss to the Patriots. Remember that? They got rid of Bob Sutton, and now the Chiefs are looking for a new defensive coordinator. Now the Chiefs finished 31st in total defense this past season, so any sort of an upgrade could be a huge positive. Let's go into the two candidates that we've been hearing kind of thrown around a little bit on who will be the Chiefs' new defensive coordinator. The first one, it's Rex Ryan. Now, you probably remember who this guy is. He's the current ESPN studio analyst, but you remember him as the former head coach for both the Jets and the Bills. And he also, remember, he won back-to-back AFC title games with the Jets in 2009 and 2010. Now, Rex Ryan is a great defensive mind. He was the defensive coordinator for a lot of those really good Ray Lewis-led Ravens defenses. I believe there's a stat going around that says every single one of his Ravens defenses were ranked in the top 6 in total defense. So there's one of them, Rex Ryan. The other one, Steve Spagnuolo. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting today that Spagnuolo might be the hire. Now remember, he's a former Rams head coach, but he's more well known as the former 2 times removed defensive coordinator for the New York Giants. He was hired by Andy Reid, the current Chiefs head coach, way back when Reid was in Philadelphia to be an assistant. So there's a little bit of a connection there. Both guys very well known for their defense, but the question is going to become, who will the Chiefs pick? I bet you they're going to hire pretty soon. If it's me, I'm hard-pressed to not look at Rex Ryan. I know he's been in the studio at least this past year working for NFL Live and, of course, the NFL Sunday Countdown. But when he was just a defensive coordinator, those teams were really, really, really good. He's not really known for being an offensive guy. That's probably why he failed as a head coach. But as a defensive coordinator, Rex Ryan could be the right hire. What do you guys think? Who should the Chiefs hire? Type R down below in the chat for Rex Ryan, or type S for Steve Spagnuolo. Let me know down below. Moving on, Alex Smith. How confident are the Redskins that Alex Smith is going to play not just in 2019, but in the NFL ever again? This one's kind of floating around from Ian Rappaport saying that after Smith's brutal leg injury, remember in Week 11 he had that brutal leg injury, his recovery and surgery has gone, quote, as well as could be hoped. But that leg fracture, like we said, in Week 11 kind of looms large. There's pictures surfacing recently of Alex Smith out, quote unquote, in the wild for the first time, and he's got all sorts of wraps and hardware and screws and all sorts of things around that leg and that cast that he has on right now. And many people are wondering, Alex Smith, he's not going to be ready for the start of the season, but will he even be ready for the entire 2019 season? So now, what do the Redskins do at quarterback? Remember, Alex Smith signed a 4-year extension with the Redskins this past season, so he's going to have to stay there. They're not going to have any trade bait for him, and no one wants to trade for an injured quarterback. So what are the Redskins going to do? You look at the list here. Their options: 1, keep Alex Smith and hope that he might be better at some point this season, but again, probably not ready at the beginning of the season. Option 2 is Colt McCoy. He's been there for a while. He's been the backup. He came in and played when Alex Smith got injured, but listen, he's been a backup his entire career, basically, and has never really done much. I'm not sure that's what they want to do with. Or 3, maybe they draft someone in this coming April's NFL draft. They have the 12th overall pick that was from Green Bay, and the Redskins might need to use that to maybe either move up or take a quarterback at some point in this year's NFL draft. What do you guys think down below? Should the Redskins draft a quarterback in round 1? Should they draft a quarterback at all? Or maybe look to the free agent market? Nick Foles is going to be available. Joe Flacco is probably going to be available. The Redskins need somebody. It's probably not going to be Alex Smith just based on injury. And Colt McCoy, like we said, a perennial backup. Do they draft? Do they go to free agency? Let me know in the comments down below. Next, we got to move on to Kyler Murray. Yes, the Heisman-winning quarterback making headlines at the Senior Bowl, even though he's not actually playing in the Senior Bowl. Jon Gruden had high praise for the Heisman Trophy winner. This one's kind of interesting because you think about it, Jon Gruden hasn't exactly said he's sold on Derek Carr, and the Raiders have 3 first-round draft picks. Gruden, of course, said at the Senior Bowl that Kyler Murray has made him throw out his normal stereotypes for a quarterback. Of course, Kyler Murray, very small, very mobile, very athletic. He doesn't fit the normal 6'4", 6'5" staple that we see most NFL coaches want in their quarterbacks. Gruden said he had to throw out his stereotypes. And of course, the Raiders have 3 first-round draft picks, and Murray declared for the NFL draft on January 14th. He's going to be drafted by a team in the first round. The question is, where will he land if not for the Raiders? Let's go to our graphic list here. And some of the mock drafts I've seen float around have Kyler Murray landing all sorts of different places. The first one, Kyler Murray to, guess who? The Redskins, who we just talked about there at number 12. That'd be a good fit. Remember, the Redskins need to draft somebody. They're probably going to need a quarterback. Kyler Murray could be a young, dynamic, and really a face change for what has been a really mediocre franchise for a very long time. The next mock had Kyler Murray going to, oh boy, brace yourself, the New England Patriots at number 31 or number 32 based on where they finish and if they win the Super Bowl or not in 2 weeks. Can you imagine if the heir apparent to Tom Brady was the Heisman Trophy winner Kyler Murray? I mean, an unbelievable thought here. And that kind of begs the question, where will Kyler Murray land? Is he going to be an early first-round pick, a late first-round pick, or maybe land in that second or third round? I personally think he's going to be a mid to early first-round draft pick, so I don't know if he'll even be there for the Patriots at 31. Number 3 on the list, though, this mock was really interesting on CBS Sports. They had Murray going to the Giants at number 6. Now remember, the top 5 teams in the draft this year really don't need quarterbacks, so unless someone trades up past 6 or a little bit ahead of 6, the Giants are the first team that could look at a quarterback in this year's draft, and they sit at number 6. I want you to just think about this. Kyler Murray, Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham Jr., O.J. Howard. That right there would be a very dynamic offense. And I don't know, if I'm the Giants, you got to get a quarterback at 6. Many people are probably going to think Dwayne Haskins, but why not take a look at the Heisman Trophy winner Kyler Murray? You pair him up just in the backfield with Saquon Barkley. The speed and the running abilities combined would be unbelievable. I don't know. We'll see. Kyler Murray, he's going to be drafted. We know that. Do the Raiders take him? Do the Giants take him? What if he falls to the Patriots? Got to stay tuned. The NFL draft is always exciting. And this year's first night, the first round of this entire NFL draft, is going to be thrilling to see where all the guys go, especially Kyler Murray. Now, one guy making headlines this week, and seems like almost every single week he has a good game in the broadcast booth, is Tony Romo. And he recently spoke to The Athletic and told them he had offers to play football professionally in the NFL this past year. Yeah, in an interview with The Athletic, the Emmy-nominated broadcaster with CBS, who last played in the NFL in 2016 with the Dallas Cowboys, claimed he had multiple offers to play. And again, Tony Romo's resume, right? We know him as the current CBS color commentator, the guy that everyone loves to listen to broadcasts next to Jim Nantz in the booth. He called the AFC title game this past week. He will call the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. It's a pretty nice gig. I don't see how he's going to want to leave that, because he's 38 years old. Now, his win percentage is good. He's 78-49 as a starter. What will Tony Romo do going forward? Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Well, obviously, he'll stay in the booth. Obviously, he likes working next to Jim Nantz, and obviously, the reports are that CBS might offer him a big contract extension or try and bump his pay raise up a little bit. Now, why do you think that is? It's because I think he's getting a lot of interest, not just playing-wise, maybe more so coaching-wise. People are freaking out about how good Tony Romo is at dissecting defenses on TV, and he is very good at that. But for people to want him to either come in and play quarterback or also be a head coach, I think we need to pump the brakes just a little bit here, especially from the playing side. I think he's done playing quarterback at 38. Last time we saw him was coming off of an injury. Remember that brutal back injury against the Seahawks in the preseason game. So durability is a huge problem, and the older he's gotten, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. Maybe from a coaching standpoint, but I think we also need to just relax here and remember Tony Romo was a good NFL quarterback whose job it was to read NFL defenses. It should be no surprise that he's able to do that. The surprise should be when we're watching a game on TV, how well he's able to articulate and tell you what defenses are doing from a TV standpoint. Should not be a surprise that he's able to do it just based on the fact that he was an NFL quarterback. What do you guys think? What should Romo do going forward? Type down below C to stay with CBS, D to coach Dallas. A lot of rumors there. That's probably where he would go if he was going to coach. or P if you want to see him play football, play quarterback again? Let me know in the comments down below. I don't know. I think he's going to stay at CBS. It's an easy job, and it pays really, really, really well. So I'm going to do some fun headlines here from the Senior Bowl. Remember, the Senior Bowl is the annual football game played every single year in Mobile, Alabama between all the collegiate seniors, because I'm the best and top seniors in college football right before the NFL draft. All get to go and work out in Mobile and play a football game in front of a ton of NFL scouts. And of course, there are two teams. The seniors are split up into two teams, and NFL coaching staffs get to coach them. This year, it's the 49ers and the Raiders. So Jon Gruden and Kyle Shanahan, their staffs are getting to look up close and personal and work with all of these seniors in the NFL. But some fun early headlines from the first week. Missouri quarterback Drew Lock, he was reportedly asked in an NFL scouting meeting about a math test he cheated on in the 9th grade. That should just tell you right there how serious, maybe ridiculous, these teams are about finding their right guy, especially at quarterback. So Drew Lock got asked again, tell me about that math test you cheated on back when you were a freshman in high school. Crazy stuff they asked, not just at the Senior Bowl, but also in all the pre-draft prep. Another crazy story coming out of the Senior Bowl is the Western Illinois defensive tackle Kalen Sanders. His wife went into labor this first week while he was down in Mobile. She was in Chicago, and he called her. They talked on the phone, and he decided to stay and keep playing football and keep practicing at the Senior Bowl instead of going to see his firstborn, I believe it was a daughter, being born back in Chicago. So some pretty crazy stuff there. Now, they agreed upon it, but that's a pretty chill wife, I must say, who's able to say, no, listen, you work on your craft. I'll stay here. We'll have the baby. As soon as your practices are done, he gets, his weekend break. I'm sure he's going to fly back to Chicago. But some crazy early headlines coming out of the Senior Bowl. But this is what the Senior Bowl is. A lot of good NFL talent there. We'd already talked about it. Drew Lock's there. We already talked about the Duke quarterback being there, and then Will Grier as well. There are a lot of guys, some of which will go in the first round, and others will be very good NFL players, all play at the Senior Bowl, and just some fun headlines there before we get into our final rumor. And this one's not a rumor anymore. It's brand-breaking news from today. ESPN Adam Schefter reporting Larry Fitzgerald, wait for it, he's coming back. He's going to play one more year. Larry Fitzgerald has re-signed with the Arizona Cardinals on a one-year deal today. This is actually a surprise. Many people thought that Larry Fitzgerald was probably going to retire. There was a quote from his teammate, cornerback Patrick Peterson. He found out the news while he was being interviewed and said, wait, really? Larry's coming back? That goes to show you that maybe Larry didn't exactly know what he wanted to do in the beginning, so it took him a while to figure it out, but he has now decided to sign a one-year deal with the Cardinals and come all the way back. Now remember, Arizona, they have the #1 overall draft pick and also a brand new offensive-minded head coach in Cliff Kingsbury. I think Larry's sitting there at 36. He went, 35 years old. He'll be 36 by the time the next season comes along. He said, you know what? I've been in the league for 15 years. This past year, I did lead my team in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. So with a new offensive-minded head coach and, of course, Josh Rosen in his second year, I'm going to stay and give it one more go. I think it really tells us the character of Larry Fitzgerald and how much he loves actually playing football. The Cardinals are the #1 draft pick. They were the worst team in the NFL last year, wins and loss-wise. Doesn't mean they're going to compete at all this year. I mean, maybe they could squeak in as a wild card in the NFC, but they're not going to compete for a Super Bowl. So Larry Fitzgerald, knowing that, still wants to come back for his 16th season. And listen, I'm excited. Larry Fitzgerald, one of the best guys in the league overall, and one of the best receivers in the league all time. And he's still, like we said, doing it at a very, very elite level. What do you guys think? How many more seasons does Larry Fitzgerald have left in him? Comment down below, let me know. Remember, he signed a one-year deal. Doesn't mean he can't sign another one after this year. I think if the Cardinals somehow make big-time strides this year, like Sean McVay-type strides in his first year with the Rams, and they're suddenly put into a position where in 2020 they could compete in the NFC, don't be surprised if Larry Fitzgerald comes back for another year and tries to maybe get that elusive Super Bowl that he just was so close to having when they almost beat Pittsburgh back in that one Super Bowl with Kurt Warner as his quarterback. Remember, they lost when Pittsburgh came back to win on that shoestring touchdown to Santonio Holmes or the shoelace touchdown to Santonio Holmes, Larry Fitzgerald might want that Super Bowl ring, but that's 2 years down the road. Let me know down below if you think he's going to play how many more years. I probably think this is his last year. Let me know down below. That's it for all our rumors today. Subscribe to Chat Sports down below. Be sure to check back every single day for all of our latest content. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott.